Welcome to Newsmakers. I'm Lisa Oligus. In this edition, we look at the supports available for Missouri Southern State University students and the role the community can play. We'll talk about the campus Angel Tree program and a new holiday event open to the public. We'll also learn more about the Lion Co-op, helping students stay stocked on food, cleaning, and hygiene products. And we will learn about the role of friendship families for international students spending the holiday season in Joplin. We begin with the co-chairs of the Angel Tree program, Christina Hamilton and Julie Christensen. Thank you both for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
So Angel Tree is something I'm just learning about as someone new to Missouri Southern. Tell us a little bit about its background. What started this program? What was the need?
So it started about 2014, and the need arose from just helping our students on campus, their children, to have a better Christmas.
Because we do have a number of non-traditional students. Not everyone is right out of high school.
Correct.
So has the need grown, and how do students qualify for this program?
Well, the need has grown over the years steadily from 2014. It actually peaked in 2018, where we assisted 107 children that year.
Wow.
It's kind of decreased there for a little while, but as of this year, it is back on the rise. We have 90 children that we will be assisting this year, and then there were 54 applications.
Wow.
So
Julie, how does it work? It's like there's an Angel Tree, so they get a tag. How did they go shopping? How does it work?
That's exactly how it works. So the students apply, and once we get all of the information for their children, we create tags. We put up a Christmas tree right outside of the president's office, and then staff and faculty can take the tags. They can purchase the gifts, they return them to us, and then we have a big wrapping party, which is very fun. Everyone on campus can come, wrap the gifts, and then families can come and pick them up and have, hopefully, a more joyful Christmas.
Yeah. And so what's the reaction you get when these gifts are given out?
I honestly, this is my first year, and so I've never been a part of that part of the Angel Tree, but I can imagine it's probably just very thankful, a lot of joy. For a lot of these families, especially these days with things being so expensive, there's not a lot of extra money. They have to pay for school, and they have to commute, and then daycare, and all of those things. So I feel that families are just really grateful to the faculty and staff for being able to provide this service so that their children can have more things to open on Christmas morning.
How does it make you all feel to be part of on the giving side?
I know it makes me feel amazing. I mean, it's so great to be able to help other people, and to be able to help, 90 children and 50-some families is a huge honor.
And we want people to be able to stay in college, and helping them with those extras is very important.
correct. Yes.
So this year, for the first time ever, it's part of a bigger event called Holiday Happenings. Tell us about Holiday Happenings and
Correct.
what's all going to take place at the big event.
So in prior years, Southern Lights is where Missouri Southern students would come to pick up their Angel Tree gifts. And this year, in addition to Southern Lights, they've expanded the program for Holiday Happenings. It's going to be open to the community. We are definitely seeking more campus engagement. So there will be several activities happening from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. on campus.
So I heard vendors, a maker's market, kind of a craft fair.
Exactly. They're finishing out the evening at 9 o'clock with a movie, Christmas.
A Christmas Story.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
But in between there, so they could take carriage rides, visit the mansion, which will be decorated.
Correct. There's gonna be mansion
and then some
tours.
special guests. I take it.
There's
the
gonna
guy
be
in
some
red.
choir. Yes, the guy on red. He's going
Santa?
to be here. Exactly. So there will also be hot chocolate. There's going to be Christmas
Carolers?
choirs.
All around the Christmas tree, and the tree lighting will be at 7:30, right?
I believe that's at 5:30.
5:30. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Lots to do. Thank you all for sharing. It's so nice that we have this program available for students.
Absolutely,
so.
thank you.
Thanks for being here today. When we come back, we talk to coordinators of a year-round effort to help support students with food and other supplies. It's called the Lion Co-op, and we get an introduction from two volunteers.
I think it's a pretty cool deal. I wish that a little more people knew about it, because I think that it could be a lot more helpful as far as helping those students.
Kevin is a volunteer at the Lion Co-op, located in the FEMA shelter. It started out as a class assignment, but took on more meaning.
As a commuting student with, and also non-traditional, there's a lot of things that I really overlooked that we've learned about students here who might be food insecure, or even students with families that might be food insecure.
Even though he hasn't used it yet, Kevin has 3 kids of his own, so he knows the value of extra food and pantry items.
One of the things we're learning in the class is that sometimes people feel a stigma about coming to a place like this. But there's no, there's no judgment here about the things that you might need or want for your family or for your dorm or whatever's going on. So while there might be some of that in some places, I hope that students wouldn't feel that here. That's one of the things that keeps some people out as far as research suggests. But if we could, project that image that there's no judgment. We don't even track like who takes what. It's not like that. We just track inventory so that we know what we need later.
That's part of the job for J.P. Rutledge, who's both a volunteer and an intern with the co-op.
I do the inventory. I have the keys, so I open and close the co-op, and I run the computer. So I make sure that the inventory is up to date each week, and as well as I will bag, write down anything, and any items that students take or any donations that are given to the co-op. I make sure that that's all up to date. Yeah, it feels really good. I mean, I've gotten to volunteer in a lot of other places in the past, and I think being able to volunteer here at the campus that I attend, at the university I attend, it means a lot because I know that I'm giving back to the community and helping other students who are much like myself.
Both volunteers want more students to know about the co-op and its satellite site at the library.
It's a good access point for students because a lot of students go to the library to study, and since there's a lot of non-residential students who go to Missouri Southern, they may not always know to come over here to the residential side of campus for the co-op, but if we have an access point there on the main campus, then they can easily get the same or about the same quantity of items at the library as they could here at the FEMA shelter.
And those things are flying off the shelf, I heard today, so we're hoping that with more knowledge about how it works, the more interest students would have.
Yeah, I think it's a really good idea, and I think already we're seeing how popular it is with the students. It's just like I said, it's a really easy access point for students, and so I think it's a great idea, and I think it's going to grow more and more each year.
We're back, and joining us for more on the Lion Co-op are Andrea Cullers, a co-director of the co-op, and MSSU student Mel Garrett. Thank you both for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
So the co-op is a relatively new concept. Mm-hmm. Tell us about when it started and why you got involved and its beginnings.
Yeah, so I'm a faculty member in the kinesiology department, and we had been seeing or listening stories about students and not getting enough to eat or being hungry, and so we did a study in our department with all the lifetime wellness students and found that about 25% were food insecure. So then I connected with some other faculty members on campus, Dr. Bever in the history department, and we opened up the Lion Co-op, which is a food and personal hygiene pantry, and it opened in the fall of 2018.
So it seems like it's a fantastic idea. It's in the FEMA shelter. Is it regularly utilized? Are you seeing growth in that need since 2018?
We saw a lot of growth, and then as everybody knows, the pandemic happened. And so that kind of changed things a lot. We had to go to an online ordering system. Our usage really decreased. And then this year, we're really seeing a lot of increase. We still have the location in the FEMA shelter, and we've expanded to a satellite site at the library on campus. And so that has seen a lot of growth as well with that additional location.
Yeah, the student volunteers we heard from mentioned that that's a great idea for access. Mel, tell me about that. As a student, why do you think it's so important to have this? And is the library a great spot for it?
Oh yeah, I actually also work at the library, and every time I see people, especially after a restock, rushing after, like you can see the smiles on their faces when they're grabbing food stuff. And I feel like it's a very great opportunity we have on campus, because as a student, I've actually faced being in some situations that have been food insecure or not had enough money to eat my next dinner. And just having this resource on campus that I can go to, and I just feel like MSSU having this resource is a great opportunity because a lot of students don't have access to what we have here. I also give tours, so anytime I give a tour and we pass the family shelter, I always mention that we have a Lion Co-op in there so they can scan your card and get food. And some people who like they see the posters on campus and they go in and they come in surprised. They're like, for free? This is all for free? And I'm like, yeah, it's for free. And because it's also available to faculty and staff, you know, so it's a really great opportunity, you know.
Well, and as a student, I mean, a lot of times you probably think of, I need food, but there's other things in there like shampoo, and those are things you'd have to go to a store to buy. Some folks might not have transportation. Do you think those are those utilized as much? Are those in need by the students?
Yeah, personally, I haven't purchased any tissues, menstrual products since I came to MSSU because of the Lion Co-op. I tell my mom every day, I tell my friends, you guys don't need to go to Walmart, go to the Lion Co-op, it is there for you. MSSU has provided this, and the kinesiology department, they're constantly working, especially Dr. Andrea and Dr. Amber, they're doing their best, and they ask what we need in a pantry so students can actually have a vast majority of what they're actually going to utilize.
Yes, you give input.
Input, yeah, basically.
Is great. So also, I mean, like some people might think, well, why don't they just go to the cafeteria? Can a student's schedule make it difficult to eat on when other things are open on campus?
Yeah, I think there should be there's various factors that come into play in the terms of food. Personally, as an international student, I really struggled adjusting to American food. So my first year here was really a struggle. It was tough. Like I would go to the cafeteria and I would eat stuff I wasn't used to. So I feel like your environment can be a factor. The place you're from, your taste buds, like your dietary needs. There's so many factors other than just, oh, there's a cafe in the school. So I think having another place you can go to and make your needs be met, it's a great opportunity for me personally.
So Andrea, you mentioned online. Is it possible for students to put in that, hey, could you carry this? Could you have this? And have we been responsive in that way?
Yeah, when students check out, kind of, we work kind of in a grocery store model. We do have a QR code, a short survey they can complete and give us feedback about, are we meeting their needs in terms of products, in terms of times, in terms of locations. And we are 100% donation based, and so we can target food drives or requests, or when we receive financial donations, we can make purchases to try and meet those needs of students. So
how can the community become involved, because they can help by answering those needs? Yeah, so we have donation boxes located across campus. If you have a really large donation, we can always go and pick it up. And then through the Lion Co-op website or the MSSU Foundation website, there's a place to donate financially, and you can also send me a check in the mail as well. Anything will help. That's
yes,
right.
Anything helps.
Well, thank you for sharing your story and sharing the need with us, and hopefully the community answers our call.
Thanks for having us.
You're welcome. When we come back, a look at seasonal support for international students. But first, another look at how you can donate to the Lion Co-op and its hours of operation. We'll be right back. MSSU is proud of its international mission. This year, there are 132 international students attending classes at Missouri Southern, and they're from 41 different countries. The long journey here means many won't be able to return home for holiday seasons, but there is help and you can get involved. Joining us are Stephanie Goad, a Friendship Family member and the Senior Coordinator of International Admissions and Recruitment, and Mansour Alakal from Saudi Arabia. Thank you both for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
So, Stephanie, I'm going to start with you. You work a lot with international students who represent 41 different countries, which seems amazing that they're just spanning the globe. How many students are paired with Friendship Families, and do we need more?
We have about 60 right now who are paired with Friendship Families. This is probably the biggest group we've ever had as far as the number of Friendship Families that we have.
So give us an idea of what that means. What is a Friendship Family and how does it work?
I think it's best to talk about what Friendship Families are not. Okay. So it's not a live-in situation.
Right.
This is exactly what it says, and that's a friendship. So families will have the students over for maybe a holiday meal. They might take them shopping, take them on a family outing. If it does become something more later, that's kind of between the student and the family, if it evolves into more of a host family.
There's like an online application, but it says possibly once a month kind of getting together just so they kind of can bond.
Right.
Establish a relationship with someone who's here.
Right. We want families to reach out and try to do things once a month with their student, just so that they have that connection. And that's really what it is. It's a connection, a sharing of cultures, and it's nice to see the benefits on both sides.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk to Mansour a little bit. So what would it be like if you had wanted to travel home when there's a break here?
It would be honestly expensive due to like inflation and the like economy now. Last year I went home and it costed me around $1,500, but now today it would cost me around $3,000.
Wow, double.
Yes. Yeah, so it would be expensive and like exhausting because like I live in the other side of the like globe, so yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, is it a 24-hour flight? I mean, give us an idea of what it would take for you to travel.
If it's a direct flight, it would be a 13-hour. But if like you
layovers here or there,
yeah, it would be more because of the layovers.
So you could eat up a lot of your holiday break time just in the traveling.
Yeah, 1 or 2 days minimum, like just in traveling.
So you did go home last year. So for you, is it going to be part of your 4 years here? Do you expect to be able to travel again?
I'm planning on like in the summer break to go back home to Saudi Arabia, and yeah, like I'm gonna try and travel once a year back home so that I meet my family and all that.
Yes.
I honestly miss them.
Of course you do, and the culture is different.
Yeah.
And that's something you can't always find here in Joplin.
Yeah.
So Stephanie, you said it's rewarding on both sides. Tell us a little bit about what you get out of being part of a Friendship Family for a student.
Okay, my family and I, we've been doing this for about 22 years.
Oh, wow.
That's how long I've been in international education. We've had many continents sometimes at our Thanksgiving table. We've had, I think, like 5 continents at one time.
Wow.
And my boys sort of grew up with brothers and sisters from around the world. And so I feel like that exchange of culture, the exposure that they've had, as well as being able to share their culture with these students, has made them into the boys, or the men they are today.
Do you feel like both sides can equally learn from each other?
Absolutely.
In this kind of situation?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So how can someone become a Friendship Family for students, and how do they go about it?
We do have a website, or a form that they can fill out online. And they would just fill that out and include their interests and contact information, and then they'll be contacted and paired with a student.
It's exciting. Well, we have more students to talk to. Thank you very much for being with us today and sharing all this information.
Well, thanks for having us.
We have more international students joining us to share their thoughts on the need for Friendship Families and the benefits when we return. Welcome back to Newsmakers. We continue our discussion of friendship families for international students studying at MSSU. Joining us to discuss what it's like to be half a world away from home are Ropa Nachuska from Zimbabwe, who is also the reigning homecoming queen, and T-Jorn Skelton from the British Virgin Islands. Thank you both for joining us today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So how difficult can it be as an international student when we have these breaks to ever go home? Would it be difficult for you to travel home in a holiday break here?
Personally, it is so difficult because looking back at my own country and its economics, getting a flight on its own would be something that is like winning a lottery, you know. You would really need to be prepared for that. And it takes almost 2 days to get home. So with Thanksgiving break being 2 days, I mean, what's the use of going there? And with COVID, you have to stay for quarantine and then you come back out of it. So yeah, it's stressful and really hard to go home.
Yeah. And for you, would it be difficult to travel? And also, I mean, is the quarantine still an issue?
Not currently on my island, but traveling home can be pretty difficult, also pretty expensive, especially for being from the Caribbean. It takes like a lot of connecting flights just to get to my island. It's so small, it's a little smaller than Joplin even.
Right, so you have to fly here, then get a smaller plane or a different plane to travel across all those places.
Yeah, all those places just.
And that eats up a lot of time, like you said, same thing. So sometimes parents try to send care boxes in the mail. Can that also be difficult? I mean, does that make it something you miss from home, or do you get care packages sometimes?
Sometimes, but it can be a little difficult to send them here. It takes a good while to get here.
So how have friendship families made a difference for you?
They've been such a amazing grace, if you could say it like that. But I've enjoyed having friendship families. Currently, I have 2. But during my Thanksgiving break last year, I had one friendship family, and they were amazing. They introduced me to their extended family, and it was just like a big Thanksgiving. You get to experience the American Thanksgiving, how people share food and the big turkey and all that. So it's honestly just an amazing experience to have somebody you can call family in a time of giving thanks and a time of gratitude and all that.
Do you have a similar custom in your country, or did you have anything you would share with your friendship families about what you would do in Zimbabwe?
So personally, we do not have Thanksgiving as like a big event, but we do have occasional little gatherings like churches and all that just to give thanks. But having such a big, celebrated, almost Christmas-like event is very rare, like for Thanksgiving. So it was a new experience, and it's something that I probably would introduce when I go back home, like, hey, let's have Thanksgiving and let's have a big turkey. And then we'll have Christmas food also, you know, yeah.
So, T-Jorn, what has it been like to have a friendship family? Is it nice? I mean, it's year-round as well. It's not just at the holidays. But how has it been helpful for you?
Well, coming to America and just trying to adapt to the culture, the friendship families have made it a lot easier to adapt. And especially like during the Thanksgiving breaks, like I've been told it gets pretty empty on campus during Thanksgiving breaks, and I was really surprised how empty and quiet it was. But then the friendship family came along, and they took me in and they showed me like the Thanksgiving, and that really made it a lot more special for me. Like experiencing an American Thanksgiving is a lot different. Yeah. Because we don't do it at home.
Is it just nice not to be alone?
Yeah, it's nice to be alone.
Definitely.
Because you're on campus otherwise, so I mean, you said it does empty out. So what are some of the other things you feel like you, as developing a relationship? I mean, you're in a new country. How is it helpful to have someone who might be able to tell you where things are around town, or, you know, what other things do you do with your friendship families when you have a get together?
Well, definitely, like you said, having someone to tell you about the different things around town, that is something really important because when we get here, especially from where I'm from, everything's like on the opposite side, or like, you know, there's no sidewalks to like just freely roam around. You know, you need like transportation and all that. So having somebody who can educate you on that and get you ready to live an American life is like such a blessing, because you get to expand that to other students who come after you, probably from the same place.
Do you feel like you've had things to share with other students, like, hey, this is what you need to know?
Yeah, a lot of things, like just the distance between like getting from one place to another. Like since I'm from like an island, I could travel like 15 minutes to like the other side of the island. But in America, it like takes an hour to get to like one other destination. So often like in mind, like especially people from the Caribbean, that it takes like a good amount of time just to get anywhere.
So scheduling and timing, and then probably having a ride, because obviously you didn't come with your own vehicle.
Oh, definitely not.
So transportation is a big part of it.
Yeah.
Well, we thank you for sharing your stories and what you've experienced with Friendship Families.
You're welcome. Thank you for asking us.
And we hope you will join the effort to make our international students feel welcome in Joplin. Thanks for watching. For Newsmakers, I'm Lisa Oligas.